We've met with 4 of our contestants so far. Let's meet with a fifth, or actually it happens to be 2. So maybe 2/5. Greg Howard and Larry Trachtenbroit from Howie Spiked, right behind me. How are you?
Hello, my name is Larry.
And I'm Greg. We're the co-founders of Howie Spiked, and we're stoked to be here today with you and hopefully be able to answer the question about why spiked coffee. When you look at coffee, it's the second largest commodity traded in the world. About 64% of Americans drink coffee every day, which works out to be at about 400 million cups of coffee a day. And you translate that to a year, that's 146 billion cups per year. That's a lot of coffee. Now, when you look at the non-alc RTD coffee category, that in itself is over a $3 billion category in measured sales per year.
And that's all the milk-based, right?
100%.
Yeah.
So when you look at this slide and listening to us, people love coffee. And who doesn't? But people also love their spirits. So we asked the question, why not both? We're seeing a lot of espresso martinis entering the market. These are mostly coffee, sugar, and alcohol. No milk or cream. And the latest data from the CGA's cocktail sales tracker reveals that espresso martinis have become more popular in the last year. And we've seen the biggest movement in this category and now reached the top 10 cocktail of the year.
That's right. We saw Pabst pioneer the spiked coffee category, quickly becoming the #1 selling brand. Stepping back to assess, we took our combined love for coffee and alcohol and reflected on the conversations we were having with consumers, retailers, distributors, and came to the conclusion that the great innovation that we're seeing is just the tip of the iceberg. The best days of significant spiked coffee lies ahead. More specifically, what did these conversations tell us? It's about convenience. It's about quality. And how many of these am I going to drink? The aha moment was make it great and make it strong. And it also needed a name that said, why not both? So with that, Al Cappuccino was born. So with that inspiration, Al Cappuccino had to deliver a bar quality cocktail in a can.
And that's one of our key principles. It all starts with what's inside. If it doesn't meet and deliver on the promise, you'll never get a second chance. It had to be right, it had to be great, and it had to deliver. And to this point, earlier this year, we took home the gold and silver medal at the San Francisco Wine and Spirits RTD competition.
That's right. Our target in creating the formula for Al Cappuccino was the combination of 2 great things that we love. 1, an iced coffee that was comparable in quality to either Tim Hortons, Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, and 2, your favorite spirit coming together for the perfect beverage. Our coffees are 100% Arabica coffee, fresh cream from a New York State co-op, cane sugar, no high fructose corn syrup, no artificial flavors, no preservatives, and to make it spiked, in this case, 6 times distilled American vodka.
6 times?
6. We currently have 2 great flavors in singles and 4-packs that are vodka spiked. Original and Mocha, which also has the imported Dutch cocoa.
We're excited to sample the Al Cappuccino with each of you today, and great liquid was just the beginning. We knew that we had to get the can design, the 4-pack wraps, to have that right kind of coffee vibe to it. We also wanted the name to stand out and let you know what it is. Al Cappuccino. Currently, we're in 7 states in distribution, full distribution, and we'll be expanding to 6 more within the next 90 days. What's been interesting for us and really inspiring for us is that at sampling events, brewfests, meetings with our distributors and retail partners, the reaction to the liquid has been great. You know, hands to the face. Oh my God, this is the best thing I've ever tasted. I can't believe there's 13.5% alcohol in it. Holy crap, I was never an iced coffee drinker, but now I will be. Thank you, Al Cappuccino. So this perfect coffee cocktail is much more than a nightcap. It's a uniquely delicious drink that can be enjoyed straight from the can, pre-game, tailgate party, golf, après-ski, whatever you want. Or, for a little more sophisticated experience, pour it over ice. Put it in a shaker with glass, in a shaker glass with ice, and then pour it into a nice martini cup. On-premise loves what we have because You get 2 perfect coffee cocktails out of every can. And that's all about cost, convenience, and consistency in the product that they pour.
Okay. Today's a special day. We want for you to be the first to see what's next. As we continue to evolve the spiked coffee category, it's much more than just a simple flavor extension. It was having the right spirit paired with the right flavors, extensions. It's all about what is an Al Cappuccino worthy extension. With that, we'd like to introduce our vanilla bean. I hear you, Ray.
I'm so sorry, Larry. I got to stop you. Well done, though.
All right.
Very good. All right, Brandy.
I have questions.
You have questions.
Further
Please,
on,
go ahead.
I'm just going to jump right in here.
All right.
So you talked a lot about the liquid. The liquid is very good. Quick question. Is it shelf stable? Because it's
Yes, it
real
is.
there.
It's 1 year
12
shelf stable.
1 year, okay. So I think my biggest feedback is the liquid is great. My biggest feedback is probably on the packaging. It's not very premium. I don't get the van. What's the van for?
So the van is all about the adventure. It doesn't matter where you're going. It's just take that moment and enjoy it. So it's about the journey.
Yeah, because usually cars on packaging of alcohol. Maybe not a good idea. Just a thought.
So you don't like the van.
You don't like adventure?
I think just having worked for big brands and social responsibility, that usually is something that, and when you get bigger, could become an issue, to be totally transparent. But the premiumness, I think when you think about, you talked about how important coffee is. Espresso martinis are more of a premium cocktail. I'm assuming your price point is probably a little bit more premium as well. And so the packaging to me doesn't seem premium. And the camper van also, I get maybe you're trying to make it more casual. Color palette, the name. So you have Howie's and then the Al Cappuccino and then the van. So I'm struggling, I think, to put a little bit of all of those things together because liquid is great. And you talked a lot about the liquid, but I think my biggest feedback would be to work on a little bit of that packaging and streamlining premiumization.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Nick, I'd like to get your thoughts. Also, Larry and Larry and Greg talked about the best days for spiked coffee being ahead. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so first point, I think Brandy said it very well. Loved the liquid, particularly the main SKU, the mocha, liked a lot, but loved the liquid. I'm having trouble with the packaging, a lot going on. Howie's the car, so the van, the name. So all that I think could be tightened up. God, Ray, I think I already had too many RTDs before. What was the question again?
It was about Larry and Greg talking about the best days of
yes, no,
spiked
I
coffee.
agree. Look, I think you know, coffee, cocktails, coffee and liquor, espresso martinis, all on fire. You know, I think it's a trend that is here to stay. People are addicted to their coffee, and we hope they're not addicted to alcohol, but they like their alcohol. You know, one question that I've always had as a broad question for the category is I always think there's something very nice about coffee cocktails in the martini glass, as you said, as a ritual with a bunch of people after dinner, for instance. And I question whether people are going to drink 3, 4, 5 of these on a Saturday afternoon in the park or on a boat.
Well, that's exactly right. You know, and that's why we went to 13.5%. It was more about the quality of the drink than the quantity of the drink. Yeah. You know, you're not going to go to a party and bang 4 of these down. Yeah. So, yeah.
If you do, you won't feel much.
In the back of the van.
Exactly. You'll wake up in a van.
Can you amplify what you just said there?
Then you might be in the back of the van.
In the back of the van, I see. Okay.
Fair point.
Paul, what do you think of the liquid? Greg and Larry talked about you know, nailing the liquid, nailing you know, what they were trying to do with this product. What are your thoughts?
I loved it. Everybody I tried it with loved it. The taste is great. That's most important to consumers, and I think the 13.5 alcohol, that's a great spot. There's not a lot of people playing there. The riding on and kind of flanking on espresso martini, which is having a moment, makes sense. Probably need more coffee cues on the packaging. As the other people said, the packaging might need to be more consistent with the brand proposition. And the ABV might go better even in a smaller can, a 200 ml. And that on premise, it's a little tough to pour one now and say another one may come later. So that may be helpful too.
Well, we're not carbonated, so it's a still product. So on premise, they can certainly put it in the well.
Okay, yeah, you can put it back in unopened. Sometimes people are uneasy seeing a package unopened come out and get poured, but that's up to you. And then I was going to ask about the occasions, but you hit on it: the tailgate, the golfing, the nightcap, the shake it up.
There's so much you can do. I mean, you can make an affogato with it, pour it over ice cream. Absolutely. And it's a perfect dessert. You know, I mean, my wife will make this her espresso martini with her girlfriends. It saves me from having to buy all the ingredients to actually make them, handcrafted.
What's the price point?
Anywhere between $12 and $14.99, depending on the state, relative to the tax in terms of spirit versus
For which
malt.
pack size?
Four pack.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Larry, Greg, very well
Thank
done.
you.
Thank you so much.